What's going on, fellas? This is Sir Studmuffin, leader of Affliction, with War Recap number 2, War win number 45, and this 58-40 win over OG Chicagoans. To start off, I was actually really happy with some of our attacks. Um, what I'm going to show in this video is two goho attacks of mine and just kind of brush through them. I'm going to show a surgical TH9 attack, surgical hogs TH9, and a surgical hogs TH8 attack. And we might have time for one more. But basically what they did to our base is they bully attacked Slaughter with Lavalunian, and then they 3-starred me with Lavalunian as well with level 2 Lava Hounds. But I had the Archer Queen freeze glitch, and so that's why they 3-starred me. If you go and watch that attack, you'll see the Archer Queen froze up, and that added or that damage gone really hurts with defense. So let's go ahead and start off. We're going to look at my attack. It's a pretty simple base, in all honesty. Couple things. There's a giant bomb on the right and left sides, and those little, I guess you would call them T areas by the archer towers. You're going to see that I'm able to get a pretty simple bait. Getting the bait plus the GB. I actually get 2 GBs, and so this allows for a shattered goho attack on the left side. And we're going to go ahead and see that. So let's go ahead and check this out. Like I said, I'm going to try and breeze through it for the most part, just because there's no sense in really getting on this one. I actually have an extra loon, if you can't tell. I didn't mean to, in all honesty, and once I started it, I've realized that. But I started off with a 2 loon drop on both archer towers for a 2-for-1 trade, and then I dropped 3 hogs in behind to get the full lure. I knew this was probably the best move, and you always want to have some sort of ground troop if you can for the bait. The reason for that being is the loons and valks and barbs, they aren't baited by the by loons or minions or any air troops, only ground troops, and so that's important. So if you notice that I dropped my minion for the anchor, and the enemy witch doesn't even come with her minions and whatnot, so I was able to isolate the witch pretty quickly for a pretty easy kill. So go ahead and get this kill down. Pretty standard kill squad with the Archer Queen in behind. I dropped the Golem plus my 2 funnel wizards. Dropped the 3 wall breakers to get to it. The compartment. The reason I bring 3 and not 2 is because 3 wall breakers is going to be safer. If you lose a wall breaker, then your 2 wall breakers won't work. It's 2 wall breakers though, level 5 on these level 8 walls. It's 3 for level 9. So make sure you know that. But that's what I do there. It's actually, I misspoke. It's not a shattered goho. This is a cold-blooded goho. And that means that I'm using 1 golem over 2. Next thing I do, notice the 2 giant bombs I set off there. And then I drop my Barb King and a rage spell just to make sure that I really get this area cleared out. Next thing I do is a 2-finger drop on this bottom cannon. After that, check this pathing out. That's the reason I wanted to show this. It's pretty good pathing for the most part. I think on the other attack, he tried to do it from the right side, and the pathing wasn't as ideal. That's something you definitely want to look at. How are you going to be able to distribute your heal spells throughout the base? If you notice, my hogs, for the most part, are healed. I got the giant bombs taken out. This is a major threat. And then I'm able to keep my hogs healed as they approach these expos and ending defenses. And after this, it's pretty much cleanup. Take this base out pretty well. I got my cleanup whiz going around. I think I have plenty of time. And this is a pretty... And that should about wrap this attack up. So go ahead and fast forward through this. Show you my composition. And that's the first base. Like I said, pretty standard cold-blooded hog attack. I wouldn't have known where those GBs were necessarily, unless this is a cleanup attack. So yes, this is a cleanup attack. And yeah, so the next base I want to look at is base number 3. Um, this is probably a more difficult base. Um, it's the base that Waffle attacked, and it was the base that I showed. Uh, I believe it was last war with his attack. And the reason I'm showing this is because I want to show a different methodology to this base. I used a goho attack. He used more of a hogo wee wee attack because he had more golems and wizards and witches and whatnot. So he was more on the go wee wee part of the attack, and I was more on the hog attack, hog side of the attack. What you're going to notice here, let's go ahead and start this replay. He has a southern teaser at the bottom with one giant bomb, and I do a shattered goho. So I drop a 1 loon. Wasn't even looking at the air super, to be honest, because it really didn't affect me that much. Then I drop a giant and 2 hogs for the full lure. Reason I lured is because of the loon, and like I said, those loons can be really deadly, especially in a base like this. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little. So the next thing I do is I drop my archer anchor, drop my kill squad. Probably was even a little late on the kill squad drop. You notice that I lose a witch actually, and then I drop my archer queen as well, just to make sure that I have enough DPS and power to finish out the CC kill. So next thing I do is I drop my funnel whiz. Notice that I kind of started inside out on this base. It was really by the design, but I still made sure to get my troops funneled in. And that's really what's most important. I drop a rage bell to help the troops have enough power to take out the archer queen and the barb king, plus most of the bottom defenses, plus I get 2 giant bombs. And we're going to go ahead and zoom out because the next part of my attack is a like I was talking about with Waffle, it's a 2-finger drop on 2 different parts of the base. So I guess you can call it a 4-finger. Know that the heal spells were at those 2 locations next to the Wiz Tower and the Archer, and that Air D from how many times we've attacked this base. The heal spells are pretty solid, and then I dropped a heal spell in the core. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a more difficult attack, but it was a different attack. It required a little bit of variability. I dropped my cleanup minions and wizards and whatnot, but a more with hogs. Let's see. How do I want to phrase this? With hogs, you can have more versatility than just using a standard cold-blooded goho, shattered goho, and incorporating a stronger kill squad and whatnot is especially effective in bases like this where they have southern teasers or whatnot. So that's why I wanted to show this replay and to show that you don't just need 1 golem or 30 hogs or whatnot. You can dial back the hogs and use other attacks for hybrid or other troops for hybrid hog attacks. So that's really what these attacks were to show. The first one was, this, like I said, a standard cold-blooded goho. I think that's important for new TH9s to see, as well as new TH8 members. The replay, though, that was my favorite in this war, no doubt, is Tim's attack on number 4. He uses a surgical hog attack. So let's talk about surgical hog for a second. Surgical hogs are using, it's kind of like a cold-blooded Golaloon attack, but you drop hogs instead of loons. And so what this is to counter bases, I want you to notice the point defenses on the outside. That's something definitely to note. Also probable giant bomb spots on the inside, which you're going to see there are. And we're just going to walk through this attack. So he's going to start off with the bait. And he actually uses 5 hogs for his bait, which is a lot of hogs, but he gets a lot of value out of it. So he gets 5 hogs at the top mortar. He gets the mortar plus the archer tower. Loses some to spring traps, but gets the full bait. And then, actually, no, he doesn't get the archer tower. I apologize. But he's able to get a lot of value regardless with the bait, which is really what's the most important. This was the first attack, and he absolutely demolishes this base. So, second thing to notice here, and something to talk about, he drops his kill squad and brings the CC over his area of entry for his attack, which is extremely important to see. If you're able to, in any sense, get the kill squad kill over your Archer Queen entry, um, when you're entering the Archer Queen for the Archer Queen kill, it's extremely important because it allows your kill squad to have more value, not only killing the enemy CC, but also helping your troops with killing the Archer Queen. So it keeps your witches up longer, has more value through it. You get the Golem tank like he does. And then, second part to notice is notice that he hasn't dropped his Barb King yet. And this is actually a really smart and something I've seen a lot more. If you wait on the Barb King, I've noticed that with Gola Loon, it helps to because the loon, if there's an enemy loon CC and you're using lightning, it allows the golem to be targeted and not your Barb King. Makes the Archer Queen kill a lot smoother. But the thing you need to know is that you have to have your Barb King, or you have to make sure that the funnel is right for your Barb King. So notice how he's patient here, lets the golem tank a bit, and then drops in the Barb King once his funnel has been established for a fairly simple Archer Queen kill. He brings a jump spell, and I think that's an okay call for this base. He's able to tank the Expos and whatnot, and then he drops the Surgical Hogs. He drops with Surgical Hogs. You usually drop about 3 to 4 hogs per defense. He kind of doesn't go in a counterclockwise motion or clockwise motion. He kind of starts from the sides and then works his way in. It's a bit of an interesting attack, to be honest, but it's definitely my favorite. You're gonna notice here the giant bomb spots, and there were several giant bomb threats, but I think there were only one giant bomb location on this base for double giant bombs. So you drop the hogs on the outside, and then they go into the core, which has the double giant bomb locations and whatnot. It's going to have the splash damage, and that's where you drop your heals. It's very important to know to drop your heals beforehand. You want to drop them sooner than later, and you want to make sure those hogs are healed. The thing that I see the most with surgical hog attackers is that they, especially with ours, when we were first starting this out, and we're still new to this, but some of our really first attacks with surgical hogs that I saw, the user didn't drop heals fast enough, and that's extremely important because those hogs are going to take out those error defenses so quick, which is why it makes the attack so strong. And if you watch the replay, let's see his time. 2 minutes and 16 seconds total time. And that's to have a minute left in a hog attack for Goho is extremely fast because there's so many steps to the attack. And I mean, that was a really powerful attack, in all honesty. It was first attack. It was the first 3-star of the TH9 war, of the TH9s in this war. And I was really happy with that attack. The next attack we're going to see, they had the go wipe attack was on a troll base. I'm not going to show that. This attack, this is Rez's attack on number 9. And this is also a surgical hog attack. This is a TH8 surgical hog. So first thing you're going to notice here is he drops a 2 loon, 1 hog CC bait. And it's actually a dragon. I believe it's a first attack. So he wasn't sure of the CC, but that was a little overkill on CC had he known. But he gets a defense and gets the bait. Next thing he does, let's go ahead and zoom over here. Drops the 3 barb and CC kill squad. He uses the 2 witch kill squad on this attack. Pretty solid dragon kill. I mean, it's pretty smooth. The dragon is distracted by the witch skellies, which is something to note. Next thing he does that Tim and I believe TP didn't do is he drops a golem tank and then hogs behind it. So it's kind of like a goho attack when you're trying to get the hogs to, or the golem to tank for the hogs and take damage, if at all possible. That's why you always want to drop your hogs close to your golems to work in conjunction with them or it. But next thing he does is he's doing this in a counterclockwise motion. His heal spells are on point. Um, well timed, well placed, and just works his way around the base. And that's why this attack is so strong, because number one, it takes several defenses out at a time. It allows your hogs to deal with giant bombs more effectively. And even though he loses some hogs to these giant bombs over here with that double giant bomb set, he still has enough hogs to finish out the base. And that's something really important to note. Um, he's able to take less damage and have less hogs die to the giant bomb than he would, and he's taken out most of the base before he encounters it. So that's really something important to note here. And after that, it's just cleanup. So we can go ahead and fast forward through this, but I was really happy with his attacks. I'm probably going to make a surgical hog how to. Those are the basic fundamentals of surgical hogs. It's making sure, number one, you still have to go with the bait or CC lure or whatever. You still have to kill the initial part, or kill the initial part, whether that's the CC and the Archer Queen. And in addition, think of it as a alternate deployment method that would also be like a Asian wall or a two-finger drop or something like that. This is a different deployment method. And the basic notion, like I said, is dropping the hogs on point defenses. Let's go ahead and look at this base again. It's on point defenses on the outside of the base, similar to things like the Holo Wee Wee in a sense, because you're taking out the outer exposed defenses. He's able to take advantage of these defenses because they're on the outside of the base, and they are protected partially by splash defenses, but the woods towers are on the outside as well. So really he only has air defenses and giant bombs in the core. And the reason it's better for a surgical hog on this base, number one, like I said, the point defenses are on the outside, and number two, those giant bombs in the core, if he has a large mass of his hogs die to those giant bombs in a regular two-finger deployment or Asian wall or whatever, he's more than likely going to lose the attack because he doesn't have enough hogs at the end. So what he's able to do is use most of his hogs effectively around the base and lose minimal hogs in the core. His hogs and the hogs in a surgical hog raid will pile up or amass together in the core. But hopefully, if you're able to do the surgical hog right, you're able to take those giant bombs with a smaller portion of your hogs. Especially if the giant bombs are on the outside or something like that, it allows for an extremely useful surgical hog attack. Let me see what this last replay is. I don't exactly remember. Oh, this is a TH8 goho, and I want to show this attack as well. I think this is an interesting attack. This is Rez's as well, so he's getting a double feature on this attack. You're going to notice he starts off with a 5 hog bait, and then so he's able to get the full bait, drops the 5 hogs, no giant bombs there, but he was still able to clear that giant bomb location, brings the dragon over to the left side of the base on that outer builder's hut. Next thing he's able to do is a standard TH8 kill squad with witches, which distracts the dragon, and then he's able to use Wiz to kill the dragon while it's distracted by the skellies. And then he drops his golem to get to the other double giant bomb, which is the only reason he would bring his golem is number one, to tank, and number two, to take out a giant bomb location. if we notice here, it's not actually a giant bomb location, or it doesn't end up being a double giant bomb location. He didn't necessarily know this, but he is able to take out two giant bombs. They're just not necessarily next to each other. Next thing he does is a 3 hog drop on the top to take out the Tesla, and then he's able to take the heal spells and have better pathing in the core and on the sides. So it was a really solid attack as well. If you notice here, actually, I misspoke. There was no double giant bomb, it appears, on the left side, but he's still able to take out a giant bomb, get the golems to tank for his hogs. The thing I would have liked to see with the goho attack, it's not. I think it's pretty critical with TH8 is using the hogs with your golems. So dropping the hogs somewhere near your golems so that they meet up at a certain point. His hogs do that more towards the end, especially when the golem's already tanked a lot, really, for his kill squad. I think that's okay. But that'd be something I would want to see improve. It's especially important at TH9 deployment. That's something you need to consider is using your hogs and working with your kill squad and your golem and whatnot for tanking, because those hogs, you can think of them as whiz in that sense. Whiz on their own, even with heal spells, they're able to do some damage, but they're a lot more effective if those defenses are locked on to the golems or the tanking troops rather than the whiz, because you get whiz picked off. So you can think of hogs, like I said, in that sense, or loons or whatnot. That about wraps this war recap up. Really solid war. We finished out all of the TH8 bases once again, so I'm really happy to see that improvement. I want to know, you can write in the comments, you can let me know on Kick or whatnot, how much are these videos helping? What would you like to see? My TH8 Dragon how-to video is going to be coming up soon. But I also want to know what you like about the videos, how it's helping you. I know some of the technicalities of the videos are what's helping people, but I also want to know how much and how I can improve this. I know there's probably certain aspects of the video that don't work, certain aspects of the video that do work. So just let me know some of your feedback on that. In addition, everyone should have gotten a Kick message regarding some of the changes in our clan. I'm not necessarily going to talk about it in this video, but there's definite changes on the horizon. I think it's going to help the clan overall. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I think we should be able to win this next war with ease. These guys don't even have hard TH9 bases. Most of their attackers aren't going to have level 4 hogs or whatnot, so I'm expecting a all-dragon kind of raiding clan, maybe hitting 35 to 40 stars max. So this should be a fairly easy war. I'm going to go for perfect war. So that's the goal here. We're going to see how we do. I don't know how many perfect war we've had, but I do know we've averaged around 58 stars of war as a clan overall. So definitely want to go for a perfect war, and let's go ahead and get this win. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.